Welcome to Summerween. Hello everyone, my name is Vel, and today, thanks to Dieverune Cosmetics who sent me this collection in the PR, we will be doing the Summerween. We have 2 palettes, 4 glosses, 5 singles, 2 highlighters, some gel, some mascaras, a lot of different things that are in this collection, and I will be showing you everything and trying to explain everything. I've done swatches. Since this is a palette of only sparkles, only shimmer shades, I've done swatches as in previous of my shimmer releases. One eye, one shade, and we have 10 total. It took quite some time. I also did some swatches of the Boodrops 1 and 2 because Boodrops is a continuation of the Boodrops, and this is going to be very interesting. And if you are interested, let's begin. So the first pair of shades of our huge collection review, these are the Boodrops Part 3. As you can see, 6 shades with semi-transparent base or transparent base, depends on how you're looking at it. So the first shade is this is this eye. It is a smooth multichrome with very nice sparkles, so it has a bit of a sparkle inside. You can see them, and it's very strong as a multichrome as well, but it is a transparent base, so you may be not afraid. It will be just looking great on anybody. So this one is smoother. The little problem that I have with it is that it slightly goes into the little creases in the beginning of the eye. This might be connected to a user error, a base error, or an application error. But I also have to say that this shade is relatively emollient. So not precisely when you touch it, but I will try to show you. So this is bleeding off the emollients of the connecting ingredient, and when it gets onto the cardboard it bleeds, and this is what happens. This shade, as you can see, did the same. It bled around itself. Others seem to be fine so far. Maybe I just did not touch the cardboard with it, but this one is smooth by the touch, but it's quite emollient on the eyelid. So it's not emollient on the finger, but you still feel how smooth it is. So this one is smoother. This one is a bit more crumbly. This shade is called Eek. Eek is the multichrome, but you can see the duochrome more clearly with holographic sparkles. So it's a holochrome, as we understand it is now. So holochrome has the same actual issue. I am using MAC Brûlé, so the multi-sculpt as usual, nothing changed with my base. Gives a thin layer of color and nothing else. Maybe I need a bit less of it, I don't know, but the situation we are in is this one. Same story, slightly goes into the little creases at the beginning. It doesn't like crease like crazy. It doesn't become like a curdled something. But it does slightly go into these little creases. This is also because of my eye structure, because of how my eyelids are in general. They're not very oily, but they have a lot of little, like, these lines. And sometimes the shades do that, and you have to be aware of that. I would not consider it like horrible creasing, but you can fix it with a finger. But this happens. This is just what happens. So the shade Eek is the holochrome number 2, and I think it looks very pretty. This is a peachy, also transparent base, but we have a peach to lemon, something like that. And there is some shade in between that is seen in macro, but I don't actually see it right now on myself in this light because it's too lights. To see the multichrome properly, you need more lights. So the amount of shifts is the amount of lights you ideally need to see the multichrome true self. Or it has to be like a surface that is curved inwards and outwards so that you can see it better. That's just what I figured out throughout working with the multichromes in general. But yes, these two are very pretty actually, and considering that it's transparent base, I think it will fit very nicely to anybody. And if you are not afraid, or if you know how to properly use the more emollient shades on yourself, I think it's a good start. Very good start. This whole collection is pretty big, and we are actually having a lot of it on myself today as well. So the next item we have is Creepy Creams. Creepy Creams is the multi-use cream shadows. They remind me of MAC cream shadows, like there is a cream palette with primary colors and some additional ones, and I used to use it as a base for my looks for quite a while. It's very creamy, it's very blendable, but it doesn't set itself. So you need something to place on top. For example, if you powder it properly on top, or you place the eyeshadow on top to keep it in place, then it will be okay. But on moving areas, I still would not recommend to use it. So it can be a connection points for your makeup looks. It can be something that you use on not so movable things, or on opposite, you can use it on your lips because their creamy textures are not that crazy to have. Like lipsticks are generally that. So yeah, the eyes I would probably avoid just for the sake of it, but yes, if you have not so many creases, if your eyelids are bigger, it's totally okay to use that as well. Today on me I have the shade Ghoulie, which is this neon pink, and I used it as my blush because that's just the opportunity we have with these, and I think it looks wonderful. It looks like a normal blush to me, and I'm pretty happy with the outcome of it. So I'm so far really into it. Doesn't feel like a Vaseline, it doesn't feel like anything. It's truly creamy, like those blushes that don't set themselves as well. So it's totally fine for me. Next, as my highlighter today, we have beach balls and broomsticks. The split highlighter, as usual, split highlighter, that is, this one is double-sided and one side is more smooth. I used the more smooth side. That's the transparent one, the white one. It's more smooth and gives a bit more of like a glassy look, and this one is purple to blue with transparent base. It's not very yellow base, so you can be not afraid of that. It's more of a transparent base, and it has a shift from purple to blue. If we use the second part, the second is the same shift but a glittery finish. So it's a bit more sparkly finish, and when you mix them together you will get both. So you can choose if you want more of an effect of glittering or more of a smooth effect, or you want both. This is also okay to use on the eyes, totally fine. Highlighters are able, you are able to use highlighters on the eyes as well, so that's not the biggest deal, and I think it looks good. So this is very universal as well, especially for cooler tones in general, for daily use, so things like that. Moving on the lips are lined with the Mist Eyes 776. This is the purple undertone brown. So it's a brown with purple undertone because I thought that it kind of matches into here. I kind of wanted it here. And on top of that, I applied a Boo Berry. Boo Berry is the lip gloss, a regular lip gloss, like very nice, like slightly lip oil kind of feeling. And it's the only gloss in this collection that is not sparkly. So this one is Barbie pink, and it's just simple color. It does have a color, as you can see, not the crazy one, but still it does give a color. You can apply more if you want to, but I think this is good enough. And this is everything that I have so far. I actually have a lot of other things. I'm not sure how I will approach some of this in any scenario, but still I think I will try to get something done. I also have these mascaras. Usually mascaras I do separately because I'm not including them into looks, especially with the eye swatches like these, because I want to keep it focused on one shade. But these mascaras are also present, and I will try to show them anyway. This is gonna be a big review. But we touched quite a bunch of items right away. So we have 2 palettes that we touched on me, the highlighter, the gloss, and so far so good. So far I'm pretty happy with everything, and I think it looks nice. So we will see each other in the next pair very soon, so stay tuned. So I'm channeling my inner Sabrina Carpenter today with the hairstyle a little bit. I just did some styling. I just felt like it. So we have another pair. The colors today are Boo and Gasp. So we have Boo and Gasp. Boo is quite interesting, very unique shade, super smooth, super thin, transparent base, very bright teal turquoise color that goes into purple. I don't see like in between colors too much, so the duochrome is like typical conditions what I have with the light, and in macro you can see maybe a little bit more of that. The other shade is Gasp. This one is leaking, as you can see, so it came slightly broken, so I restored it, and some pieces of it actually got onto the cardboard and it started leaking like that. So this is not something that will 100% happen with every palette, but it may. And the thing here that I don't mind is that actually when you are looking at it in a specific light, it's not seen, but then you get it away from the light and obviously it's peeing into the cardboard. So this shade is more crumbly, this is smooth, this is crumbly. This one reminds me a lot the shade Verdandi something from the Chromebook 3 that we touched. It's also transparent base with a pink and green and with lots of colored sparkles. It's not holochrome, but it has a lot of colored sparkles. These sparkles can be seen, but it also kind of gives effect of a naked eye because like it's very transparent in itself. So it does look slightly more green here, but on the eye, as you can see, it's not actually that green. Also, I want to mention that I allowed my base to dry a little bit more. So I wiped with a wet wipe and I let it dry, then I applied the MAC Multi-Sculpt and let it dry as well. Let it sit for a while, and that minimizes this creasing, so a lot of things like that come from the base and from the user error rather than the eyeshadow problem itself. Despite being so emollient in the pan that it also leaks outside, it doesn't give me problems right now. So you have to pay attention, you have to try a couple ways. Do not instantly ditch something if that behaves weirdly, because maybe there is a residue from the skincare, maybe the base is not okay, maybe your cycle is changing, because that also affects the oiliness of your skin. It's crazy. And yeah, you have to take it into account one way or another. This will affect you. And this is what I have for now. I think it looks good. I'm pretty happy with everything, but as I said, this one we already saw in the Chromebook, and this one is pretty unique and I kind of like it. With a transparent base, this is very cool looking because of this blue-purple shift on the outside and very bright turquoise sparkles. So I'm into it. For the face, I'm using the concealers, so concealers do not really change. Mostly it's like tart shape tape in different formulas like creamy or original and stuff like that. As my blush today, I use Creepy Creams and this shade Ghastly. It's very nice peachy, gives the warmth to the face. As you can see, as a blush, it looks wonderful. I'm really enjoying this as a blush, despite being very small as a palette, but it adds something to the whole collection, to the face as well, and I'm enjoying the creaminess. I don't mind creamy blush to be kind of non-self-setting. It's totally fine for me. I don't mind that. For my face, for my skin type, it's okay. Like nothing is crazy there, but as I said, also you can set it and then it will stay a bit better. As my highlighter today, I used the Summerween Scream. Actually, it's also a split highlighter, but that's not that obvious because it's also a marble highlighter. As you can see, you have an orange side and the silver side. Silver white is, I'm not sure in which proportions it will be marbled in other situations. In my case, it's like this, almost half and half of these two. And silver is the base that you see. So here is the silver, and then I have a lot of tiny orange sparkles. And also when I'm away from the straight light and the side light hits, you can see that it becomes a bit more orangey. But on the peach blush, it looks great. So this one, I would say, is very good for the peaches. And yeah, Summerween Scream. That's it. On my lips today, I have the Endless Cacao by Makeup Forever. This is one of my favorite pencils. I think it looks good. I have a tendency of matching something greenish to something brown and peach, you know? I'm repeating this from review to review, but this is just how it works for me. And on top of that, I used the Creepy Coconut. Creepy Coconut, as you can see, is the shade that is slightly green inside. That's from the base, but it's actually transparent. And it has this purple shimmer that duochromes into yellow. Actually, there is something green in there as well, but as I said, not every shift can be seen in a specific lighting. For some you need more lights. So it's multichrome gloss. It's a regular gloss. I don't think it smells like coconuts or anything. At least I don't notice that. I think it smells like a bit chemically, but that's fine. And it's just transparent gloss. I don't even see the shimmers anymore on myself. Like, they're so fine, I don't feel them, which is good. But it also means that you won't be able to see them much. Yeah, and that's it so far. I really like this eye and this whole face of products, because the oranges, the peach colors, the orange highlighter with a silver, orange and silver highlighter is something very unique, very unusual. So I'm really into it. I think this one is actually going to be my favorite from this collection. So far that's it. We have two more from the Boodrops themselves, and we have also the singles. Singles are also in pairs. I would do them in pairs at least. And then we have a standalone single that actually is also a highlighter, mini highlighter kind of. So I'm going to use this as a highlighter because it's a creamy texture. I don't really enjoy creamy textures that is not self-setting on the eyes. So the Creepy Creams and this guy I would probably not recommend to apply on the eyes too much, or to the areas that is very prone to moving. So you can decide for yourself, but I'm just saying. So far that is it. Pretty happy. I think that looks good, and we can move on to the next. So let's roll on. So these are the last two from the palette Boodrops. As you can see, they are absolutely not what you expect from the pan. When you look at the pan, the shade Swoosh, it's this one, seem like a purple with gold sparkles. There is no purple. This is the eye with this shade. There is no purple. At least nothing that comes right away into your eye, on your eye, that says it's purple. So it's green, blue and golden, mostly golden as you can see. So when you, depending on your angle of course, it will look either more green or more gold. So for me right now it's mostly gold and a bit of a green, and it doesn't have any purple in it. So this is kind of the golden eye. Actually looks pretty nice and very wearable shade in itself. So that was a Swoosh. This one, Peach in the Pan. It's peach in a pan, but there is nothing peach on the eye. I don't even see the base, so there is no actual base, not a visible one at least, and it's all just tons of colored sparkles with these bluish tones. This shade is Shriek, and this is what we have with it. I'm seeing it very, very similar to the highlighter. So this is a Beach Balls and Broomstick highlighter, but this one has more, even more sparkles. So it's like this purple side, but exaggerated even more. So this one looks very interesting. It's super sparkly. I like how it looks, but it's absolutely not what you expect from the pen or even from the swatch. The swatches I did actually show the shades very nicely. Like, they're very pretty. They have a lot of different colors in them. They have different shifts and things like that. This is not exactly what you will see on the eye, and this is what you will see on the eye at the end. Of course, depending on different people, different curvature of the eye, the results may differ, but this is what I have. This is also on my very fair skin. On the darker skin, this will look absolutely different, even more magical. But that's just what we have. And this is all for our Boodrops palette, 6 shades swatched. I am pretty happy with that. Now we have only four shades of singles, and we have another single that is actually a highlighter, and it's a creamy one. I'm not gonna use it on the eye. I'm gonna swatch on the eye the 4 things that I have here, and this one will go as a highlighter because it's a creamy product. I'm not the biggest fan of creamy products on the eyes that do not set themselves, so this is just unfortunately not my thing, and I think it doesn't really make too much sense to try to do that as well. Okay, that's so far it. So this is what I have for current situation. I bleached my brows again because they are messing up with my looks a lot, and this is just for my convenience. This is nothing to do with like stuff when I'm going out, so just generally outside. I do make my brows more taupe, more grayish looking, but for the sake of looks, because it's just more comfortable for me, I bleach them, and I will continue doing that most likely if they won't start falling out completely. Anyway, what else do I have on my face? I'm today fully on concealers. This is Juicy Concealer, the double-ended one with number 202 and 110. One of them is a too dark for me, and the other one is too pink for me, so when I mix them together they kind of create a good match, so I'm just doing that lately. Then I have the Rare Beauty Contour Bronzer in Gentle on myself today as well. I didn't want to have anything that is cooler. I don't know, I don't feel like it right now. So that is that. As my blush today, I used the shade Spooky, the purple one. Very nice texture, very stretchy, not Vaseline-y in the feeling, absolutely great to work with. So I am enjoying crimpy creams, and I would honestly love this pans of creepy creams for specific purposes. So like a blush in this, I mean Monica needs to think about it. So as a blush, creepy cream, purple. Purple becomes very nice light pink, very cool pink on me. Not very right in your face, quite subtle, but I still very much like it. And I think I will, so I touched 3. I think I will get maybe some more interesting, like a green one towards the yellow, and etc. I don't know. I'm just gonna use it however it will fit to this whole situation, but I think it kind of matches everything more or less here and there. So that's the idea. Beach balls and broomsticks. This side is beach balls and broomsticks because I think they kind of match each other really nicely, and this is just a bit more smooth and less dispersed sparkles, like they are smaller. In general, these are a bit bigger and they look a bit bigger on the eye. They are also much more visible. On the other side, because I have such a golden eye in here, I decided to go with the Summerween Scream and its orange side. This orange side is very, like, it's relatively smooth and sunny, and I don't mind. It's quite orange still. You can see it, but it has a transparent base, and that's great in itself. On my lips today I have the Lip Mate pencil, Oi Mate Romand, and Taupey shade number 5. I still don't understand these pencils that are relatively big in size. That's why I'm thinking that I probably won't buy more of them. I don't understand this as a contour, you know? Like, I can understand this as a blended contour. Yes, okay, fine. This can work. But as a contour in general, I'm not sure about that. It actually has a brush in here. So it is indeed for the blended contour. And Ghostly Grape. Ghostly Grape is a very interesting shade. It's purple, so like grape purple, you know what I mean? And it has blue sparkles. The sparkles are very much invisible on the eye. You have to look very closely on yourself to actually notice them. It also gets removed from the lips relatively quickly, but that's just like normal lip gloss does. And this is a normal lip gloss. As you can see, here are the blue sparkles in there, and it looks nice, it feels nice, but it's a regular lip gloss. So I think that's pretty much it for now for this. I still have a Melancholy, which I will use with green and yellow because I try to match things. I love when the things are matching in the collection. It's just such a nice feeling when one thing just goes with the other. Of course you can mix and match in general, but when things go together is just something that I really like. It's like the logic plays off, something in that direction. I do have a problem with this. These are the mascaras. I am completely out of understanding how to work with that in the proper way because I don't usually have so much creativity to add this properly into my looks. So I'm just confused on how to show them. So usually I show them separately with just my lashes in the macro because that way it just works then. And the other way, I don't know where to add it and how to add it. I like to use these little cluster lashes because they are black. I may try to color them actually as well, but that is kind of not... like, it's a bit of a cheating to use the false lashes when you're trying to look at mascara. It's a very good mascara, like a regular classic mascara formula, but colored. And to see the color, best I think is to show it just in macro, so I will try to do that. So this is a bit of a more swatching time for me personally, but it's okay. I can handle it, I guess. I have to. The other thing that is left is a heat haze, and this one is a jelly thing. I know how to use it. I just try to think about the look where I can use most of the things. So I still have also the creepy creams here that I need to touch and all that stuff. So I will try to make something more interesting in general as a last look, so we can have the full collection in general in here. So that was it for now. I'm pretty happy with everything. I am enjoying the eyes. I think the palette itself was really interesting to look at, and hopefully you also found it interesting. So we are moving into the singles. Let's continue. So this is the first singles pair and you will never guess which one is which, because I would have never guessed it myself, to be honest. So we have a Sunburn Spectre. Sunburn Spectre is this one. It looks very green in the packaging, with like a golden and pink inside a little bit, but it's actually a very strong true multichrome, and you can see that it has a peach, pink, green, and it goes into yellow, and here is how it just looks green in the packaging. Very nice texture as well, very smooth, lots of tiny sparkles, mostly appear peach if you look in the mirror on the table, for example, as I see it right now, but very strong green side as well. That's the Sunburn Spectre. I would have never guessed, because in the pan it looks very different. In the swatch on the palm it was looking very good. On the wrist it doesn't look as good, because most of the surface of the wrist is actually very flat, and then you have only curvature on the sides. Plus I have like a stronger muscle here compared to here, so I have a very widened at the end wrist, and it doesn't look the same way for all the shades, and it also doesn't turn all the same way, so it's harder sometimes to show, because yeah, that's why I started showing just across the palm. That way I'm just seeing more that should be there. The second one we have is a Pineapple Poltergeist, and this one actually looks more yellow in the pan and more green on the eye. So it's more of a green gold, so it's like a duochrome. I'm not seeing anything third in here so far. I can only see this golden and green, and it doesn't look bad. It also has these tiny little sparkles, so by the texture itself, both of the shades are very similar in this. But yeah, I also would have never guessed that this is a yellow one. Like in some light you can see that it is yellow, but then I see it mostly green. In the mirror I see it mostly green. So that's the first couple shades that we have, and I think this one is very strong, quite interesting. If you're a lover of green and yellow shades, then this one will definitely be right up your alley, and I think both of them actually look good. We have two more to go together, and then I will do something very different. Hopefully I will be able to. But for now, this is what I have. This is what I've created as swatches, and this is what we're dealing with. Okay, what else do I have on my face? Tarte Shape Tape Concealer I've added. My original Tarte Shape Tape got oxidized in the jar. Insides are fine, but this all around is just looking like this. It's freaking orange, and it's freaking me out. Because originally it should look like this. This is, by the way, the radiant version of it. I don't like it, but this is how it's supposed to look, and it kind of matches me better. And this is how this one looks. When you take it out, like, this is all on the sides. I don't know what happened here, but it looks fine inside. But then this is scary. I have no idea. Maybe you guys also have something like that, and if this happened to you, just let me know as well, so I will at least know that I'm not alone in this problem. But yeah, that's what happens right now. Okay, moving on. I have my creepy creams, and the shade Ghostie is the this one. It's a cherry red and it looks very nice red on the cheeks as well. I think I really like this color in general. I still think that they should come in the highlighter packaging. The full 4 gram, I guess. This one is like 1 gram something, 4 grams of creepy creams. I would not mind to have them as blush. As a highlighter, Summerween's cream, the silver part of it specifically, because I wanted something a bit more neutral, let's say it like that. And the silver part is what I applied for both sides in this scenario. I thought that it will kind of look good, and it kind of looks good. On my lips today I have the same Romand Lip Mate pencil and the gloss in shade Melancholy. This is a green gloss and it will neutralize the pinkiness in your lips into something a bit more peachy, orangey, depending on your lip color itself. It has blue and green sparkles which are seen but not that seen, so you have a bit of a tint but it's not very strong, but it's still kind of there. And this is how the gloss looks up close, with a bit of a sparkle in it. Yeah, this sparkle is very invisible, let's say it like that, on the lips, but the color is visible. If you are not a fan of something greenish around your mouth, then that's probably not for you. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have for now. We have 2 more to go. And actually we have a lot more things to work on because it's been a lot of launches and I am drowning. My bottleneck is makeup looks, as I said previously, and I have 3 launches just waiting for me until I'm getting ready. We have Just Art by D-Day Signature, because this one is a big palette of rainbow colors. We have Artitude Cosmetics new launch, which is Equanimity. This is like a sunset going into the blue hour, so golden hour into blue hour kind of thing. Still very interesting to touch. I have a couple ideas about that. And Monolith Shop, I asked them to sell me a Bella Body Bar new palette before the launch, and they sent it to me actually, so big thanks to them. Maybe it's just a one-time thing that they did. I am afraid to hope at this point, but I will try to get further future launches as if I can buy them, I will, you know, because I'm buying Bella, and this is just what happens. But anyway, I'm very thankful to have this one, and I'm excited to try it out. This is a smaller palette, so at least that's something. Okay, this is what we have, and we will see each other in the next pair of singles. Last 2 pairs of singles, actually 3 singles that I've used in this look. Everything just falls into place together. I like when this happens. So there's three singles that I used are these ones. On one eye I have hexed holochrome. So this is the eye, this is a hexed holochrome. It looks somewhat purple in the pan, but it has a lot of peachy tones, so it appears mostly peachy, without a base, but with a strong shift. And the shift is super detailed, so it has a lot of things going on. I saw almost the whole rainbow in this holochrome, so it's truly multichrome, like a multichrome, and it has holographic sparkles in it, which makes it a holochrome. So this one is quite a unique one, not in terms of the shift itself, because the shift is relatively known, but in terms of the combination of things that fall into this shade. So if I would recommend, if you want to get only one item from this collection, maybe this one is the one. But don't let me influence your decision just like that. Let's switch to the Phantoms and Fireflies. This is semi-transparent dark base. It applies normally with a brush, so I blended it with a brush by perimeter of the eye, and it applies normally with the finger as well. It has tiny purple and green sparkles, just like Fireflies and Phantoms. So I think the name here is absolutely on point. I sometimes like these dark shades, dark base shades, because they provide the effortless smoky eye look. It also is a bit more like a clay texture when you try to apply it. So it's a very interesting shade in itself, but I don't think it duochromes into anything because I don't really see much what's happening with this shade. I see something purplish and something green, but I think it might be the sparkles themselves, not the actual base or something. So this is the shade and this is how it looks. And what else do I have on my face, right? Concealers all over. This is just something. I mixed the green and cherry red from this palette, so the Eerie and Ghostie, that I mixed together to create this peachy, warm, like a bronzer, almost like a bronzer shade of a blush. They neutralize each other, but they are on the different levels of colors, so one will still overpower. So this cherry red is darker in the level than this green, and that's why it's not going to be neutralizing one-on-one. It's going to neutralize like some parts of it, and will leave kind of the base, which is like a bit of a dried blood if it was a more orange, if I can explain it like that. But when you're blending it out, it becomes this more of a warm-ish peach orange tone, and I think it's looking okay. I just wanted to try to mix them, you know, and this is what I got. Out of this palette, I only didn't touch the blue one. I did swatch it, but I didn't touch it directly. So I'm thinking I need to create something with this and with this. So we will see how that's gonna work for me. As my highlighter today, I used the Eerie Ectoplasm. This is a creamy pot highlighter. It's very tiny, but it's a highlighter. And as you can see, it creates, so on the transparent base, it has this very nice shifting capabilities and glow, and I really like this glow. It's almost like you have glow from within, and I do enjoy how it looks in general. So this is very pretty. It doesn't get too sticky, so you get some stickiness, which is like normal, but it doesn't get extra sticky like some creamy products just don't set themselves at all. They will stay playable all over. This one slightly sets down, slightly. Like you can still move it around, but it kind of doesn't allow your hair to stick directly. That is something that I just noticed, and I like the glow. I really like how it looks. So this is a fun one as well. These three are covered, and all of the singles and all of the shades are covered. For my lips today, I used the same Roman pencil and the creepy coconut because the purplish sparkles, I thought that it kind of matches everything, so it works for me. So I think this one is most universal shade out of all of them, and this one is the safest option as well. We will talk about it in details in the final thoughts with my final look, which I will not do together with you because that's enough, honestly. But yeah, that's the thing. That's what I have for now. This is what we are ending up with as a swatches for this whole collection, and I do have a lot of thoughts coming your way. So let's move on into the actual final thoughts. So this is gonna be a very big talk now for the final thoughts. First of all, I did this makeup look using completely creepy creams as a palette, so it is indeed very safe for the eyes in terms of the color itself. It's good as a base for the pigments, but I used translucent powder to just place it on top and fix it kind of in place. So I used the bottom of the palette to create myself a gradient. This is the bottom, and this is the top, from where I went from green to purple, green, blue, purple. Then I have dark red, pink and orange, and it creates quite a nice gradient. So you can indeed create a very nice gradient as a base for your makeup look. So I think it will work. They truly remind me of the MAC paint. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they have like a 12 or 14 shades palette with some creamy stuff, and I did use them as colors for the eyes. I also used this palette for my face blush. The same way, from purple I went to pink, then to orange, just blended it a little bit, and it's all good. Then as my shade on the lid, I've used Summerween Scream, the orange part of it, just tapping on the lid, nothing else. And mascaras, I finally used mascaras in this look. So my own lashes are not very representative, but still there is something happening, and I used the purple one on the outside edges. You can probably see it a little bit, not too much, but in macro it's seen, and in the mirror when you look at yourself it's also seen. Then the green on the bottom part, front, and the orange coral one in the front top. So I used all of them. This is a regular mascara. I will talk about it a bit later as well. I also used highlighter Beach Balsam Broomstick, this part of it, as my highlighter today. And as my gloss, we have Ghostie Grape. This is all pretty much that I've used in makeup, and this is like a lot of stuff from the collection itself. It works, like the creams themselves work fine. There is nothing wrong with them, but I would recommend to use them not on their own, but as a base for pigments, for other eyeshadow, or as your blush. You can also use it on the lips and cover with gloss, but this will disappear pretty quickly. So yeah, it's quite universal in terms of the usage. So on this note, let's begin talking about the collection itself. So it came out quite some time ago already, since I'm taking a lot of time to actually go through the collection, and my bottleneck is always makeup looks, because I cannot create more than 2 looks in one day, otherwise I have to take time off the next day to make my eyelids normal again. So this collection was sent to me in PR, so big thanks to Monica and Dieverune Cosmetics for doing so. I ordered Dewdrops 1 and Dewdrops 2 collections as well, and they all been sent in one package kind of. This collection for me started with this little nice guy, which is a neon pink transparent beach bag, I would say, and it's in the shape of a ghost. This is not exclusive for the PR or anything. You can buy this guy, the Ghostie Bag, for €11.95 in euros. I unfortunately don't see prices in dollars, but I will just say at least something about that. So €11.95 in euros for the beach bag is not that bad, and it's a fun little guy. This is very nicely stitched. It has some plastic things here, but that's like typical, and I think some kids may actually love this. Some adults also. I'm one of adults who actually like it as well. So this is the fun guy, and he was full of products. So this is a good representation, like a PR packaging for the collection as well, but as I said, you can buy it separately. So first things first, let's begin probably with the most interesting parts of this collection, which are the palettes. So we have the Boodrops 3, we have Dewdrops and Dewdrops 2. Those are the initial launches. They are all 6 pan palettes, and they are all shimmering palettes, and because they are all shimmering palettes, I decided to do the swatches on the eyes as usual. So we have 10 swatches that we're going to look at right now. So I'm gonna show you one by one the swatch on the palm and the swatch on the eye, so you can compare the shades by yourself. So I would say that this palette is small but has an impact. It's very interesting. They're all semi-transparent base. They're all gonna look good on anybody. And if you like more than half a palette, so if you like 4 shades out of 6, I think it's worth buying, worth getting into your hands. In this palette specifically, I really like the shade Eek, which is a holochrome in here. I also like the shade Boo, which is also very interesting and so bright as a shade. I also like this shade Swoosh, which is golden, so it's very wearable, and overall it's not bad at all. This palette costs €55.95 in euros, which is a bit on the higher range for 6 pen especially. So if you can get it on discount, maybe that would worth it more. I also prepared the comparison for you with the Dewdrops and Dewdrops 2, because I found some shades that are relatively similar, and on the eyes maybe it will not look that different. Unfortunately, I was not able to create swatches on the eyes for the Dewdrops and Dewdrops 2 just because of the time pressure, and I also have other releases to work on, and this is just what I could do in the given scenarios, let's say it like that. This palette is 6.8 grams, which is like 1.2 per pan probably, which is not that much, but with the shimmers you usually don't need that much. The downside I see, this is magnetic palette by the way, and I really like the design. Design is illustrated by Dara of Dear Darling Design Studio. Here is gets the credit here. So design is very nice indeed. There is a very cute little ghosty ice cream in here. This is a magnetic palette, so you can take it out, rearrange. You can take the palette itself with you, just building yourself a little small palette out of other shades that you have. So it's very travel friendly. And they also labeled on the back, which is great. I appreciate that a lot. The downside I see is that some of the shades are hella emollient, and you can see it by the amount of leak. So Gasp, the shade Gasp, this one, decided to leak out because it came slightly broken. I pressed it back in, but I probably left a couple of shades touching the cardboard around the pan, and it started to leak out. And this is just, it just get into the leaking stage everywhere. So the whole cardboard, like, you don't feel it, there is nothing wrong with it, but now it's just stained with this like oily mixing medium for this shade. Doesn't affect the shade much, doesn't affect anything else, it just looks weird. But that's pretty much it. And yeah, my letters on the Gasp are also now partly gone because of that. But other than that, it's a nice palette. It's not that much, and the price is kind of high for the 6 pan. But it's fun and it has unique shades. If you want it, maybe for pre-order, you can get some, or wait until the Black Friday. I would say that probably this will be restocked at some point, the same way as Dewdrops and Dewdrops 2 gets restocked. I think it's a cool thing in general. So if you really enjoy that, as I said, if you want more than half a palette, it's fun. It's good quality shimmers, but you have to be careful about the emolliency of it. Then we are moving on to our Creepy Creams. Creepy Creams is also 6.8 grams. The illustration is the same person. Great job on doing the illustrations, honestly, because this collection is really fun and it's good to look at, and it has all of the different little details in here. So I really enjoy when collections are thought through. This is also magnetic palette the same way with holographic packaging, and it's creams. Creams 1.2 grams are not that much. You will go through them pretty quickly if you will use them constantly for the specific purposes like going with a blush or using them as your base. They are totally fine working on the eyes, especially if you don't have very oily eyes or you prep them properly, and if you set the creams with either powder or the eyeshadow pigment. So they can accentuate your eyeshadow color, they can help you blend things, because with creams it's much easier to blend things, and then you can just tap the pigment on top of them just in the specific places and it will look good. It will look good. This is like an easy pass when you work first with the underlayer, and then you just place the pigment on top if you want to. So overall I think this is great, and I would love them to be in such format for 2.6 grams, so twice bigger maybe, as blush separately. I would love that because they are good. They are not Vaseline in feeling, they are very stretchy, but at the same time they are like slightly more, like they're not completely creamy slippery, if you know what I mean. They are nice and they truly remind me of MAC paints. So the MAC has cream paints, a cream paint palette. This is what I think about when I touch it. This palette is $28.95, which is not that much, but at the same time it's a creamy palette of only 6.8 grams, which is a bit more expensive, I would say. And MAC palette, I think, costs 3 times more than that. So you can compare. Overall, it's fun, it works, as you can see on my face as well right now. All the eyes are done with it and the blush is done with it, so I would probably continue using it as a blushing something. So truly enjoyable stuff, very fun, maybe not for everybody. If you don't like creams, if you don't like working with pot cream stuff, maybe it's not for you, but if you are okay with the creamy textures in general, this might be good. $28.95. Moving on, we have our singles. The singles always come in a separate packaging. They're always labeled on the refill itself and on the packaging, but you don't actually have to keep it that way. No. I have a palette that I created out of singles from Dieverune, just for my understanding. I do like it that way in a big palette as well. So The most interesting shade out of the singles, which I would recommend everybody to try, is Hexed Holochrome. This is a holographic multichrome. It's fun, it's bright, it has holographic elements, and it has a fun packaging as well. So Hexed Holochrome, $12.95. All of the singles cost the same. It's $12.95 per single, and I believe it's 1.2 or 1.3 gram per pan. So the Hexed Holochrome goes into the number one for me. The second after it will be the Sunburned Spectre. Doesn't look the same on the eyes as in the pan, so if you're afraid of the green, you probably won't get actual green too much. But it does have green as in a shift. And it also looks fun on the eyes. I do enjoy how it generally looks, how it performs. And Sunburned Spectre is number 2 of things that I would recommend. Then, surprisingly probably, it's Phantoms and Fireflies, but it has a black base and firefly-like little sparkles of green and purple. It's unique, but it's a dark base. Dark base is not for everybody. You have limited amount of things that you can do with it due to being a dark base by itself. So I do love this one, but I think it's very restricting in these terms. But I like the texture of this as well. It's very different texture compared to others. Those are a bit more crumbly and some are smooth. This one is really smooth and it stretches nicely as well. Then Pineapple Poltergeist. You only see a couple colors on the eyes in normal distance, but you see much more in macro, which I enjoyed as well. And I'm showing you also the swatch on the palm and the swatch on the eye just for the sake of it, because they can look different. This one is a fun one and it's giving summer, it's giving something very fun in general. So I do like this one. It's just less interesting for me than the others that I've showed you. The last one is actually a creamy highlighter called Eerie Ectoplasm. Creamy highlighter with transparent base. You need only a little bit of it to make it work, and it works on any skin tone because of the transparent base. Usually the blue, green, multichrome, duochrome shift has a bit of a yellow base, which I don't like at all. Like Insomnia by Carl Cosmetics, for example, has this yellowish base, which I do not like. This one doesn't. So if you are not against the creamy textures, if you want something like that, where you can just dip your nose in, it can be interesting. I think it also costs $12.95. So no difference between singles in general and this one as a cream highlighter glaze. It looks good. It does look good. I didn't mind it. It's not that sticky, not that Vaseline-y as well. So kind of gives the cream to powder, but not exactly to complete powder. So there is that. Not the last, but one of the other things is the Heat Haze Flaky Gel. Heat Haze has a lot of different colors in it, from pink, which is a neon pink by the way, into something green and yellow. I like the little ice cream ghostie in here, but these jars, you have to be very careful with them. Better to store it in the fridge, and yet in 2 months previous launch has dried up for me. The plus side is that you can revive it with a distilled water. I would not recommend to use any tap water or simple filtered water. It still can contain something in it, but distilled water is probably just enough. So the ingredients dry down into dry things and you need some liquid to revive it. I actually used Carl Cosmetics gels for my other ones and it works fine now. So you just need to put a bit of something more liquidy, like distilled water or gel, and stir it. Let it sit and stir it, and it will be revived. So that's a bonus point for that stuff. But yeah, it's very specific, and if you are not up for flakies like I have on my face today, it can be fun additional things, but I think it's not for everybody. But maybe it is for you, I don't know. You gotta tell me about that. I'm just showing you the stuff. Then we have our Summerween Scream and Pitch Balls and Broomsticks. This one is relatively the same. So we have this highlighter and this highlighter in the same kind of zone, but this one is a bit more glossy. This one is a bit more sparkly, like a glitter sparkly, as you can see on me as well. So one side is smooth, one side is more like little chunks, not exactly, but it's crumbling. It's crumbly side. And when you mix them together, you get both a smooth surface and a bit of glittering particles on your face. It's totally okay, but it costs $21.95. And maybe if you are a lover of indie things, you already have something similar. It's also 2.6 grams. It comes in the fun packaging belonging to this collection. So this is a Summerween Cream, 2.6 grams, as I said, $21.95. A bit too much in price for me personally for the amount of grams that you're getting, but it's indeed not a bad highlighter. It's fun and useful sometimes, so I do like split highlighters by Dieverune. It's kind of, it's something. It's fun. And this one is a Summerween Cream, which is the most interesting out of them, but maybe also not for everybody because of the orange shade. This is a silver to orange highlighter when you mix it all together, but you can also use these things separately and it's totally fine as well. I used the orange part on my eyelids today and it works great. It's just very much more smooth than eyeshadow. Eyeshadow has a bit of a sparkle density that is bigger. This one has a smoother texture in it. But it's still a really fun one. $21.95, 2.6 grams. As I said, for me personally, it's a bit too much. When you buy it in a bundle, maybe it makes more sense than when you buy it separately. So yeah, that's about it. Now we continue with something else. Our mascaras. Mascaras I'm also wearing today. We have the like a orchid violet. It's called Orchid. Then we have the Chartreuse, which is a yellow green, and we have the coral. Coral I have at the beginning, green here on the bottom lash, and here I have a purple on the outer corner and both lids. It's a regular mascara in formula. It's very fun colors. On top of the white primer, it will probably be even more impactful. It holds the lashes, it gives them coating. It doesn't have any waterproof properties, so if you want to cry colorful tears, this is your best choice probably. So I do enjoy the mascaras, $8.95 per item, which is like a drugstore price mascara for me, like L'Oreal, Maybelline, something like that in that direction. But this one is fun colored and this is good. I think these are one of the best I've tried in colored mascaras. So enjoyable, very nice and not that expensive in my opinion. Oof. More things we have are the lip glosses. Lip glosses are $10.95 per piece. We have 3 lip glosses that contain shimmer. Whoa. Shimmer. They are all called Gloomy Gloss and they are all 6 grams. The packaging changed some time ago. I think also they improved the formula of that. The dark black gloss, for example, was going into the little crevices and on the lips. These do not do that. So it's a good gloss, but it's regular gloss. It just looks fun. The most universal for me is a creepy coconut because it's just a little bit of sparkles in the transparent base. So I did enjoy this one the most probably. It has duochrome sparkles or multichrome even sparkles. And then we have the Ghostie Grape, which I'm wearing today as well. The more I speak, the more it goes away from my lips. So actually by reapplying, you can go through this 6 grams relatively quickly if you would decide to buy it. The only gloss that doesn't have sparkles is this Boo Berry, which is Barbie pink, and it's also fun. When you first apply it, it has more color. The more you apply, the more color there is, but generally it gives a bit of a tint and not actually like a boom, this is a color. The other interesting one is this Melancholy, which is a green gloss. Probably not for everybody, but it's also fun. It can neutralize some pinkiness. You will get something in the direction of the peach lips instead if you apply it. Also doesn't have too much color. It gives a hint of color but doesn't overpower your lips. So all of them are just good glosses that are fun to wear, but they disappear quickly and you have to decide for yourself. Is $10.95 for 6 grams of a fun gloss is good enough for you. The very last piece I have here is actually Boodrops Gems for $3.95, and this is something that I'm unfortunately not able to use properly because of my personal issues with rhinestones. I think it's wasteful to only apply it once and then throw away, but if you do not throw them away, you have to clean them, and it's also time, and it's also, I just prefer not to touch it at the end. So It comes, you can buy it separately, but I think it also comes with the bundle. Speaking about the bundle, the whole collection will cost you 246.95 in euros. That does not include tax into Europe if you buy from the official website. I am unfortunately not sure what it exactly costs on Monolith, but I believe they also will get this separate items and maybe a bundle. I think the bundle is rare actually on Monolith. I do have a code with them, with both Dieverune and Monolith themselves. I am not affiliated in this case. I'm not getting paid for it. It's just a code for your discount. And I am in exchange just having fun with all of these products for you, trying to explain what I get, how I get there, what exactly are the problems you may face, how to best work, at least in my experience, how to best work with these things, and what I find more interesting and less interesting. So hopefully you also enjoyed this. I'm not sure if you already bought something, if you already got something out of this collection. Would be happy to hear your thoughts about everything, about the swatches I made, about this whole video, about collection, about the stuff you purchased maybe, or maybe you want something but it's now in the pre-order or sold out. Just let me know your thoughts, let me know the process that's happening in your head about this whole situation, and once again, big thank you for actually staying with me until the end of this video. I was really happy to do that, and I'm really enjoying everything that happened in this video. This was one of the most fun collections of this summer and that I got excited about, and I hope you too. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video some thumbs up if you liked it, share your thoughts, add everywhere, and I will be happy to see you in the next one very, very soon. And until then, bye!